can see it on my computer. I can see it on my computer, so I got a hint.
Yeah.
And but I can't see a lot more. So if there's anything, you tell me, okay? Scream at me, throw things at me, whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. Okay, so finally, I'm sitting here. I'm in Sweden. There's a lot of snow outside. I had a horrible day yesterday. We had like 30 centimeters of snow. And so it's cold, -5. Oh, that's warm, actually. It's going to get worse. I see some people I've seen before and some people I don't think I've seen before. Yeah. So on that screen. Anyway, as I said, I'm in Sweden. That's where I'm from. That's where I fish. I got a fly shop and a guide service. So that's my job too, to fly fish. It's a pretty good job. Spare time, most of the time, I spent 4 weeks in Montana every year. The funny thing is I use the same flies over there as I use here at home. And this year I also spent 8 days in Canada fishing for steelhead. That's using a lot bigger flies than I use now. What I do mainly is I tie very small flies, or I tie small flies, only dries, and I fish for big trout on them. That's a thing that's been up to discussion many times. What I do? Well, for me, it's tiny dries, big trout. I guess a few of you have seen that or know, but it's of course it's a circumstances where you are, and what country, wherever, what river, everything's different. Where I am here on my rivers, I got very, very, very small flies. I mean, insects. They are very, very tiny. And I got some big, big, big trout. To survive, they eat small flies. For those that have met me or seen me somewhere, you probably know that I mainly tie very, very small, tiny dries. What I use during a season here is probably 16 to 26 in sizes. And I usually hunt trout bigger than 50 centimeters. And that's bigger than 20 inches. That's what I'm after. It's the same thing. I do the same thing in the US. The problem with US, the only problem could be that the flies are even smaller and the trout are bigger. But that's a good problem. So that's not. So today I'm going to tie some small dries. I was a little bit concerned about those hooks and dries if you could see them, but I get that you can, right?
Yeah, it's perfect.
Good. As I said, I tie only dries. No, not only. Now and then I tie a big hopper or a streamer or something. That's I usually sometimes I fish streams when I don't have anything else to do, but mainly it's small dries. I'm gonna try not to tie any 26 or 28s because that's gonna be a big problem seeing them on the screen, I guess. So, but I'm gonna do some 18, 20s, maybe a 16. You think that's gonna be okay?
What size hook is that, Stefan?
That one is 18.
That's plenty. You can see that fine.
You can see that fine. Okay, that's good for me to know because that's an Arex 525 18. I mainly tie on 18 20s. That's my main thing. 22s pretty much as well. I tie everything from emergers to duns, some caddis, stuff like that. So, and I don't know. The technique of tying small flies, small dries, are a little bit different from when you tie big ones. It's all about proportions. If you miss the proportions, you're gone. You're screwed. You forget it. Because, I mean, if you got a size 10 hook and you miss 2 millimeters, you're going to be okay. It's going to look good. If you miss 2 millimeters on a size 22, you're going to have the tail in the mouth or whatever. You're going to mess up everything. It will look bad. It will float bad. So that's the main thing. It's very, very important. And as always, as we all know, use as little material as you can. That's also very important. And I mean, as little of everything. The thread wraps, as few as you can get, as few as you can do. No extras, nothing, no materials extra, no threads extra, no wraps extra, no extra wraps, no securing wraps, never ever. The last wrap in something has to be the first wrap in the next thing. So just to explain what I'm going to do, and I'm going to try to talk you to a few flies that I use. Mainly, I picked out the ones that I catch most trout on. By all means, grayling as well, because they eat the same things, but mainly trout because that's what I'm after. I could spend a day looking for one trout. If I get it, it's most of the time it's a plus 20 incher or plus 50 centimeters. So the first one I'm going to be kind of a emerger dry. I love using, as long as I can, I use natural materials. Like on this one, I'm actually going to use this one to start with. This is a capercaillie, which I shot and ate, and I'm tying flies on it, try to catch big trout on it. So it's good that you can hunt some of your materials yourself and some food. But so it's a pretty big bird. I guess you all know what a capercaillie is, because you got a few over there as well. So I'm using a 14 mil thread, pretty thin. So I'm just put that on. I'll try to put my finger there now, unless you can see it. I'm just going to wrap the thread all the way down. Since this one is an emergent biot or blue-winged olive, I'm trying to go pretty. I'm going to bend that hook down. I hope that's okay with you. You tell me if I get out of. Am I still in there?
No, you're just out of focus.
I'm okay.
There we go.
There you go. Okay. My voice is moving a little bit, so I'm gonna go pretty far down, as you can see that.
If you keep putting your finger on your vice, it should refocus it. There we go.
Okay, all right. So I have to keep my finger up there.
It keeps jumping out slightly.
I'm gonna try to keep it there. Okay, so I wrapped all the way down. Not all the way, but pretty far. Can you see the thread? Pretty far down. That's just because I want this fly. I wanted to dip his ass in the water, so to speak. I wanted to cut the surface, so I'm going all the way down. Then I'm going to have a. Let's see. I took. This is. Can you see that? It's a tiny biot.
Yeah.
From the capercaillie. Yeah, I'm going to use that. Capercaillies makes extremely cool bodies, I think. They're very shiny black, and they got some gray in it. And when the hair rises up, when you wrap it, it looks real good. So it's the same with a turkey biot or anything. There's always a black line on one side, and on the other side is transparent, so you can see through it. And you need to keep the black line, because that's where all the hairs are. You got to keep that one up on top. So let's see. We got to turn this one right to get the. There you go. So I guess sometimes I'm gonna probably cover the hook for you with my hands, since I'm tying that small, but I hope well. So I'm gonna just tie this one in, and then I'm gonna let go of it. So there you go. So see, I'm pretty far back.
You're just slightly out of focus again.
I am.
Yeah. Did you move your vice?
Sometimes it moves a little bit.
Yeah.
just because I put it up on. I'm out of focus again.
Yeah. If you take it to your left slightly.
To my left. There you go.
Keep going. About there. Now put your finger back on the vice. Wonder why that's gone out of focus.
I don't know. Hello.
No, it's out of focus again.
It is. If I know.
It will keep trying to focus on his face all the time. His face is in the view. It will preferentially focus on the face. So if you take your face out of
what
view,
about that? I take my face out of there.
Yeah, it focuses on the vice.
Yeah. All right. I'm gonna try to keep my face out of there. You're on the vice now?
Yeah, perfect now.
Oh, good. So I'm gonna try to keep a little bit above it here. All right. So I have a problem with the light there, so I'm gonna cut that one. Now, I'm just gonna wrap my thread back here. I'm gonna go back a few just to create a small tapering. Like so. All right. Now, capercaillie is very, very fragile. I'm gonna move my lamp a little bit. So you got to be careful. So it might break. So I'm gonna just put some some super glue on the body on that one. Let's see. Now I'm gonna cover it up a bit. Okay. You can't see this, but it'll be better. There you go. So now we're going to wrap this one. Keep my head above it. Okay, we're going to move out a little bit.
There's nice segmentation.
It's a very nice segmentation on this one, on the capercaillie, and it's this one. Oh, that's a good thing I glued that one because I could catch it. All right, so I'm gonna move that one up. You can see that?
Yep.
Yeah. And you see it's kind of black and gray, and you got the segmentation on that one. Okay, so we're gonna do that one straight. So now I'm gonna put a wing on that one, and I'm gonna use CDC. These are all naturals picked on a hunting ground. No colored, not dried, anything. So they're pretty, how should I put it? When you tie with those, you get oil on your fingers. So from the natural oil, I mean, it's a natural floatant on this one. So now I'm gonna take 4, which a lot of people are gonna say that's a lot for a tiny fly. Yeah, but I promise you, it will never, ever, ever sink if you do this right. So I'm gonna have 4. I'm gonna put them together, like, see if I can come into focus, like so, right? That's 2. I'm gonna keep putting them. They're all of them are bent, you know that. So you put them on the same. I'm gonna grip them on the tips. Now, this is a hard part in doing all those small CDC wings that I do, because when I use CDC, especially on small fly, I do not want any stems, nothing that hard that's gonna glide, that's gonna make a bump somewhere. So I try to get rid of all those. That's nothing I want. So I want only the fibers. So the thing is, because the grip I'm using on my fingers is very, 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 very firm. It's probably a lot firmer than people who try big flies use. I'm very firm on that one. So the thing I do, I keep them up like this, hold them on the tips. You can see that. I'm going to try to show this one because this is yeah, here we go. And then I'm going to take the fingers and you see, I'm going to rip them straight up, and I'll save them in there between my thumb and my finger, like so. So you see, I ripped half of it. Yeah. I got that on this hand. Yeah. So now I'm going to change this, turn them around. I do the same thing. And just if you don't strip it straight up, you're gonna like split them and you're gonna lose it. So you have to go straight up, very firm grip. Okay, so now I got these in my hands. I'm using my fingers like that. I'm gonna turn around. I'm gonna change hands, and that, let's see, that is your wing. Still a very, very firm grip. You see that?
Yeah.
Yeah. There you go. So I'm just gonna transfer this one to the other hand and put it on to the hook. And this is pretty important. Where you put your thread, where you leave your thread when you tie tiny dries, it's very important that you have a control of that, because you're probably gonna fail a couple of times. I know, because I did. Try to be in the right position. I'm trying here to put the thread about 1 millimeter, 1.2, 1.3 millimeters. Sounds silly, doesn't it? But that's just because I'm going to tie it in there and then I'm going to tie it back. You're going to see that. But everything I need space for in front of the feather, or between the wing and the hook guy, that is a simple 4 wrap wave finish. Nothing else. No dubbing, nothing. So I'm okay. Let's see. You lost that? No, you're still good. I gotta move that.
Yeah.
We're still good. Okay. So I'm gonna put this wing on top. Now this might be a little bit off it. I do a very, very loose wrap, and another one very loose. Then I tie it up, and I go backwards 4 or 5, 6 wraps, like so. And then I check. Can you see that?
Yeah.
When I fold it back, you can see the C to C is right on to the hook guy. If you're too far back, it's gonna be bad. If you're too far up to the front, you're gonna cover the hook guy. So now I'm just gonna go in and I'm gonna remove the excess on the back of this one. Okay. So now I'm gonna just make sure it sits where I want it to sit. Just like that. Okay. Good. So for body, I'm gonna use some hairs here. And this is also hairs here. You know, that's some sticky material. But if you care about what you do, I mean, you can make. I can use a sticky hairs here for the body on a size 26 without a problem. But you gotta be. You can see the noodle on that one. That is not much, but it's enough. So it's also, it takes a couple of, the normal thing we use too much. You can't use too much here. it's going to be look bad. So we're going to see. Usually it's 5 or 6 reps to get this one. So I'll put that away. So I'll just go up till I get to the CDC. That's perfect. Okay. So that's it. Looks a little bit unruly, I guess. Let's see. Am I in? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So, okay. So that's 5 reps and I'm here. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to finish this one off. It's pretty simple. To do that, as I said, when I go under the wing, I'm going to take the wing back and I go in front of that one with my thread. But the thing is here, there's no room for anything than a whip finish. You can see that. And that's the way we want it, because it's going to look really good when you do that. So, no dubbing. I'm just going to go up to this one. And I'm going to go in just one simple half a rep, just to be able to put in my whip finish. Even that one is small, as you can see. So I'm taking the wing back and I go 1, 2, 3, 4 is more than enough. That's another thing. Tying small rise. I see people will do 5, 6 whip finish, 7. I usually do 2 to 4. Most of the time I do 2 and 3. It's not a problem. It doesn't. I don't think 6 holds better than 4 does. And if you should be at the least concerned, use your dubbing needle. A little bit of super glue. Just pick it in there and you're good. So, and that saves you a lot of unnecessary space where you put a lot of things you shouldn't be there. So you can see that that's an unruly fly. So we're going to cut the wing. And since it's hairs here, don't be afraid to get in. You need a couple of small scissors, but don't be afraid to get in there and take shit out. It's okay. All right. So I'm going to use my fingers as a, what do you say? You call it a
gauge?
Yeah. I mean, my fingers are, get them in. There you go. My fingers are round, and I want the wing to be round. So I'm using my fingers. I'm grabbing it from beneath like this. First of all, I can see, okay, how long do I want it? I want it as far as the body is from the hook eye to the end of the to the biot, or a little bit longer. So I'm going to take a little bit longer now. So I do that there. That's what I want. Then I take my fingers from beneath. There it is. And then I cut along my fingers to get that shape of the wing. So there you go. I call it the mist. So this is the fly, probably the fly that I catch most big trout on, both in Sweden and in Montana. Questions? Everything's all clear.
They're all on mute, so you'd have to wait for them to unmute themselves.
Is the capercaillie quite spiky?
Quite spiky.
Yeah, hairy.
Yeah. They got. You can see, it's quite hairy when you. It doesn't look hairy, but when you wrap it, you're gonna get a real good. See if I can show you on a little bit of a bigger fly here.
Was that the problem? Capercaillie tail, or another feather from it?
No, the tail feathers.
The tail feathers.
The tail feathers. There's about 15 of these big ones. Yeah. You use the best is in the middle, and the further out you get, they could be a little bit worse. They get a little bit smaller, and when they walk in the snow, they kind of ruin the side feathers a little bit. So the best are definitely, and the ones in the middle are the biggest ones.
Yeah, it just didn't look as dark as the capercaillie tails I got. That's why I was asking.
Oh yeah, no, it's black. I think it's a light here. It looks like
Yeah,
more
yeah.
gray. Yeah, it's really black.
No, that's okay. Sorry to interrupt.
So what's that? Nothing. Okay. No, so maybe I can show you on this one. This is a little bit of a maybe more clear body. Also used capercaillie. The light is a bit bad, I know, but you can see that?
Yeah.
The hair is really, really good, and the colors are absolutely brilliant. I used to do this fly using turkey bird quills. I made olives and I made whatever, amber, brown. I caught fish on all of them. Then one day, I'm going to try this. I put the capercaillie on. I had the best day of my life. And the day after, I had the next best day of my life, and it kept on going. And of course, if you use it and you're good at using it, you catch more fish, of course. But it seems like capercaillie has a brilliant view from below, because that is so. You could use turkey, but I know capercaillies are hard to get because it's mainly only Finland, Norway, Sweden, and Russia, and a few in like Germany, and you got a few in Scotland, England as well, but just a few. I don't think you can hunt them. I can go out tomorrow and shoot 5 if I want to. I don't want to, but I could. So it's a great material. But no, but so this is definitely the fly that gives me the most big fish on that little one. So I tie it in 18 and 20. This is an 18, so it's pretty easy to handle. And you can see why I use all these 4 CDC feathers, because that one will float forever. It won't sink. It doesn't sink until someone's biting it.
And there's no bulk there because there's no stalk.
No, exactly. There's nothing. It's soft, clean, and I don't. You could use like CDC oil on it. I don't do that. I use 100% dry shake powder. Excuse me. That's what I use all the time. And the thing is, I shake it, then I rub it in to the CDC. I rub the shake in like that, and it will float all day long. So brilliant, pretty easy to get a hold of, and you can use other things than capercaillie, but capercaillie is, for, if you ask me, it's outstanding. Okay, any more questions on that one? All clear. Was that another question?
No, happy with that.
Okay. So we put that one aside, and let's see. I'm gonna use the same hook, the same idea, but something different. No, I'm not. I'm gonna use this one. I thought I would tie a small caddis or a stonefly, size 18 as well, using a different kind of hook. Well, I am. Some hooks are different kind. So yeah. So this one's called the Wicked, and it's got a story actually. I wrote a couple of articles on it because I intended to tie a stonefly. It turned out to be the best caddis I ever tied. I was stuck up in the mountains on a July night, and there were fish everywhere. And they were eating. All I could see was caddis, but they didn't eat it. And at the end of that dark night, I realized I wasn't eating caddis. I was eating stoneflies, big ones, like size 16, 18. Big. That's big for here. So I spent a whole winter trying to do a stonefly, and it turned out pretty good because the first time, oops, my phone fell down. So the first 2 times I used it as a stonefly in April, and I caught the first trout I caught on it was 1.4 kilos, so that was pretty good. But then it turned out that used during a Caddis hatch, it blew away all the other Caddis. It was totally outstanding. So the first article was called like the stonefly that became Caddis. It's a little bit different because since I was doing something, I tried to make a very, very thin body on it as a stonefly, not like a Caddis, and a long body like a stonefly. And so it's some kind of a mix in between, actually. So pretty simple. You see, when I tied the thread in, I left a little bit of space, 1.5 millimeter or something. So I started a little bit further back. That's to give me a mark, because this one is very, very important that you don't get too close to the hook eye. If you do, you're going to have some problems with the rest of the material. So I'm trying to keep that all the time. You're going to see that later on. I used this one for the first time with a peacock quill, a natural. I ran out of natural, so this is a yellow one. You could use a biot quill if you want to. But try to make it a little bit softer. So let's see what we can do with that. Okay, it's the same here with a peacock quill. The dark will be on the up when you tie it in. Dark side up. Otherwise, you're going to end up losing the segmentation. Okay. So I'm going a little bit like on the other one. I'm going to go fast forward, halfway back, up again, and like halfway back and up again. And I'm going to stop there. You see, that's a pretty big gap from thread to the hook eye. And that's on purpose. You need that. In the beginning, when you tie this fly, that's very easy to get too far from, too close to the hook eye, and you're going to end up in a bad position because you're not going to be able to fit in the other materials. So, okay, so we got that one. Let's see. So I'm going to wrap this quill. I'm going to use this one so you can see what I'm doing. I hope. So this is a little bit yellow, so it's going to be very easy to see. The first original, it's gray, natural. Segmentation is going to be pretty cool on this one as well, if you turn it right. Okay. Oops. I'm so close to my phone, I keep. Let's see. We good? Yeah. Yeah. So, all right. Couple of reps just to tie down. And now I'm tying that down with a couple of reps, but you see, then I go back. Now, this is the important spot. You remember that one, because that will save it or break it. So keep being there. Let's see if I can get some. Let's see, I left my UV on that. I left my UV torch on the whiskey shelf. Sorry about that. I guess that's normal. You could use like super glue on this one as well if you want to. I'm going to use a little bit of UV instead on this one. So not too much. Get some of that off. All right. The good thing when the glue is on, you can see the segmentation very good. Because now it's wet. You see that? So. There you go. All right. Should be it. Okay. So now I'm going back to that C to C again. Now, this time I'm just going to use 2 because I'm going to try to create an underwing. It's all about floating, and this is about floating low. But I really want it to float, so same as on the other one. Take the tips, and so the bend is down, not up. I want it down. Put those together. I wet my fingers a lot in my mouth. I'm gonna try to take these fibers back a little bit. I'm gonna put this one on top, and now it's very important that you stay where you are on that fly. So I'm gonna put my fingers on them. I'm gonna pull them forward, and then I'm gonna lay 2 very loose reps exactly where I am. Then I can let go. I can have a look. Yeah, keep a firm grip, pull it through. Another time. There you go. I want it to be as long as the hook itself. You see that? So I'm satisfied. So I'm taking a couple of wraps. Now I'm taking that off. And now is the first time I'm up to the hook eye with my thread. Down and back up, all the way up to that magic point again. Got it?
Yeah.
Good. Now it's going to be like the area where you can see the thread is going to be like a little bit cone-like, since we tied in the CNC up there. So now some deer. And this is also a little bit of a thing, because if you use too much, it's going to be like a elk hair Caddis. You don't want that. So I have to estimate something like that. I'll take the ends off a little bit. And I'm going to stack these. Okay. Now, I always measure everything. I don't use a measuring for hackle, anything. I always measure on the fly itself, on the hook. Because, I mean, this is what I'm tying. This is what I'm doing. So I'm measuring here. Now, how long do I want this one to be? Just a millimeter longer than the CDC. If it's too much, I'm just going to go in and take a couple of straws out like that. Take a few out. Okay. A few more. Okay. That looks pretty good. So I measure that. Then I'm trying to transfer that to my other hand with a very firm grip. I'm going to put this one down here, and 1 loose wrap, 2 loose wraps. Take it down. Okay, on there, 2, 3, 4, 5. Good. Then I'm going to be very careful to lift the front, because I'm going to take that off in an angle. I'm going to try to cut it in an angle from the hook eye and back, like that. You might have to go in to take a few of these stray fibers away. I think that's going to be good. Very firm grip. Hold that still. And then you work forward to the hook guy. You work back all the way up to that point again. And all the way down again. And up to that point again. There you go. So now can you see that cone shaped? Yeah. That's what I'm after. And one important thing with this fly, as I said, I want this one to be low. So if I can, I don't want any deer hair below the hook. I want the hook, the body, to hit the water and break the surface, because that's going to trigger the fish to see, oh, this guy's not ready to go. He's not ready to fly. He's the easiest piece of meat I got today, so I'm going to eat him first, because that's what I usually do. If I turn that one towards you, you can see, can you see the body?
Yeah, it comes through.
Yeah, it's very obvious from that point of view, from beneath. We can't see it from here, but you can see it. So if you're a fish beneath, you're going to see it in a different way. So now I'm going to use some opossum for this one, if I can find some. I thought I was a good guy and put everything on the table, but okay, I'll catch some. Hang on. Yeah. You know how it is when you move out of your tying room and sit down at the kitchen table. So normally I use a dark gray. It doesn't matter now, so I'm just going to show what I found a light gray, but it'll be fine. Opossum is normally a nymph dubbing, mainly used for that. I'm using it as a dry fly dubbing. Why I want this one? It's very, very long haired like me. So the hair is very long, and we're going to split the thread. I'm going to put this one in, and we're going to make the head of the opossum. And it's going to look like really wild and unruly and not too much. But you're going to see all these long fibers are going to be like moving in the water, like legs. That's another thing telling the fish that I still got my legs in the water. I'm not done to get out of here. And this has changed my life a lot of times. I used to sell those in the shop, but I was a little bit like, oh, I don't want anyone else to do this fly. So I sold them myself, so people had to order them for me. And money, I mean, dollars, pounds, whatever, was not a legal value, because the price was loud and clear. You get 2 wickets for 3 hobgoblins. So I usually end up in the season, I had like 10 boxes of hobgoblin beer and no flies, but turned out pretty good. It's a good price. So I tried to make a little bit of a, like that. Now we're going to see if we can split this. Splitting at 14 is not the simplest thing in the world, but sometimes you can just spin a little bit, and you spin it the right way and you might succeed. So I usually try to flatten it with my needle and then split it on my finger like that. Pretty good for an old man. So now I'm going to take this and put it in there. I'm going to take some of it away. A little bit too much on that one. We can also take some of it away later on. But so now see if I can do that without killing my phone. I'm going to spin that one. So I'm spinning my bobbin around. There's a little bit of a whirlwind here. Now, I'm going to start. Now, you see why it's important we keep our thread on that certain spot in the middle all the time. You got to keep it there. So now when I start turning this, I'm going to take the opossum back a little bit fun. So I'm going to take away some of the last. It's a very unruly fly. Like 3-4 wraps. And I'm going to tie that one off. 3, 4. All right. There you go. Works very good as a stonefly, but mainly it turned out to be an extremely good caddis. You can tie it in probably 18 to 14, depending on the size of the caddis you got where you live or where you fish. As I said, I got very small ones here, so it has to be small for me. All right. Questions or anything? That one? None?
Nope.
No.
And you call that the wicked?
I call that the wicked, yeah. That's the whole story about it is an old fly tying, fly fishing and fly tying. Yeah, that's English, the magazine. Yeah, the wicked. It doesn't look. I know I have a few friends in England. They said they had this extremely good trout fishing on this one in England and Wales. So since you're over there, that could be something for you when it comes to caddis. Okay. And it's an 18, but it's pretty much food anyway on that one. All right. So we got the wicked. Now then, I just keep on tying then. If there's anything special, tell me.
No, you carry on doing what you're doing.
Okay. So I'm gonna do a size 18 done, a dry fly with a hackle and everything, which I use a lot. You can do it in all the colors you want to. I had to mention it, or I had to say, call it something. I call it a candy bug because you can use anything color-wise. You can use it as an olive. You can use it as a sulfur yellow. So did I go out of? No. You can use it black. I'm gonna just do it gray, I think. So it's the same here. The tails on this one. No, we'll take the tail later on. Well, first do. What I do, this is going to be a parachute. When I tie parachute, I always do the wing first. Straight behind the hook eye, 5 wraps. That's my base for the wing. And proportions again. Decide now where you want to put the wing. This is where you decide where it's going to be, what it's going to look like. So, like that close, 1.5 millimeters, 2 millimeters. That's perfect for the wing to make the fly look good. You can use different stuff. I'm just going to take some. I use a lot of aero driving from Tiemco. It's a wing material. The good thing is that it's splittable into 4, which means depending on the size of the hook, the size of the fly, I can choose how big, how thick do I want the wing to be. Because you do all the, let's say, the good looking of the fly, everything, you do that now, not afterwards, because then it's too late to do it. So I usually take a bit like this, and I think about how thick do I want it. So now I took 1/4 away, and I'm going to take 1/2 away against an 1/8. Take a little bit more away, because I'm going to make this double as well. So you got to think about that as well. Now, there are several ways of doing this. I'm going to do it my way. That's going to be a good one. What I do is I leave my thread hanging there. I take the wing and I put the wing under and I lift it up, keeping it there with my fingers, and take 1 wrap like that. Then I'm going to very, very careful take a wrap behind and a wrap in front, and then I'm going to do like this and check if that wing is where I want it to be. If not, I'll have to change it. Okay, here's the tough part. I'm going to wrap around this wing without letting it bend over. So I'm going to cover this one up for now. I have to do that to make this. So I'm making a post on this, and then down. There you go. You can see the post.
Yeah.
That's, for me, small flies. That's the most important thing you do here. To make that post. It's a problem to learn how to. It's easy that the thread bends down the wing time after time after time when you wrap it around, but it's all about keeping the pressure and letting go just when you take it around. Now, there are several ways to doing this, but so I got that. And now here's what I'll do. Super glue. I'll take that one. I'm going to take some super glue, and I'm going to, oh, this was hard with the phone there. I'm going to put some super glue on that post. Now that's going to save you the day. Let's see. Just make sure it's not too much. It's a Swedish saying it's called lagom. There is no translation in any language. I don't think we have the word. It's hard to explain, but someone did it sometimes. They said, not too much, not too little, just enough. And that's about how much glue we want. So the glue, can you see that when I'm bending the wing down, the post is still stiff and points straight up. That's going to allow me, even though I tie a very, very small fly, to wrap the hackle and everything around, and it won't bend. Never. You won't lose it. You're going to see the pressure you can put on that one is extreme. So that's the best tip I can give you for the life. It's super duper. So, okay, we got that one. Now, on this one, you can put a tail on it. You can put a shuckle, whatever. You can put whatever tail you want. I thought I'd put something on it just for fun. And I lost that one. Okay. So, and I'm just gonna, the tip doing small, another tip doing small dries like this, parachutes. I'm always leaving my thread behind the wing on the other side away from me, always. Because that means every time I take it, I'm on to the next wrap, which up and above, fastening some material or fastening something. So always leave it behind the wing, up there. So now we're gonna take something just to put some wing. I'll just take you. Let me take something of this. I'm not really imitating something now. I'm just taking things for you to see how to do it, or the way I do it. See, I'm just gonna grab a. Okay, sorry about that. I'm running between rooms here. I'm just taking a little bit of sealant. I'm gonna want this shackle to be a little bit unruly, to be down into the water. And since I'm using that hook that bends down a little bit, so I'm just gonna tie this one in. Like that. Take that away. Like so. And oh, did I? Yeah, we're good.
That's okay.
Yeah. So this time I'm going to use some. Let's use some color. PMD. Paid morning done. Turkey biot quill. Much better than turkey biots. You can tie smaller flies with this one. I like biots as bodies. I like this. I love the segmentations. Of course, you can use dubbing or whatever, but I think this is good. So same thing with the quill. One transparent side, one hairy side. So let's put the dark one up. Like so. A little bit of taper here as well. That's a big quill, so we're gonna use some super glue again. All right. This is also going to be a very nice segmentation. This is going to be like a little bit of a colorful fly. I think you can see the segmentation of, oh, it broke. Yep. Okay. The quill broke. That happens sometimes. See if we can save it somehow. Yeah. redo it or save it. I decided to save it. It should be okay. So,
oh, good one.
No, I think I'll just unwrap that one since it broke. It's
They can be quite brittle, can't they?
yeah. I mean, that's another thing. I was trying to be lazy there. Normally, when that happens, I always redo it. I never try to fix it ever. So I'm not doing that now either. So I'm just wrapping that off. Take another one. Take a new one. I usually say, if we get to the point where you think it'll do, it won't.
Yeah.
Never, ever, it won't. If you think that, it won't do. Because that fly is going to be at the last row, last place in your fly box forever. And if you only have that one left once, you're gonna go home and tie another one. So no, if you think it won't do, it won't. So I'm not doing that. Okay, we'll just get another one. See there, I put that one. Okay.
Have you tried Steve Hankins' turkey biots? Magpie Materials.
No, I have not.
They're super.
Okay, well, that's perfect. Use what's good. This is hairlines. The difference between these and the normal turkey biots is these are so small, or so finer. When you're tying small, it's great because you can. Oh, let's see if we can find that one. Okay. Okay. So I go now. All right. Back in business. No. Well, no. Don't forget the tape ring on this one. All right. Okie doke. I'll try not to break this one. These are normally very durable, so they don't easily break, but sometimes. Okay. Okay. That's better. So that's the body. See, there's a pretty big, pretty nice quilling on that turkey biot quills. I think it looks really, really nice.
Nice segmentation again.
Yeah. I mean, it's a small one, but I mean, fish probably see, I think, 10 times better than we do. So why not try to do this as good looking as it can? So now the hackle. Now there are two sides of that. People either do it one way or they do it the other one. I do it the other one. where there's always a discussion about which way to turn the hackle. First, I'm going to see if I get a good one. I try to. It's the same as you can see. I don't use a hackle. What do you call it? Hackle meter or whatever. I got the fly there, so I'm always measuring on the fly what I want. How big do I want it? And that's another thing. I try always to get I do like that. And I want the hackle to be just out to the end of the body. So these are a little bit too small. If I can get one that's a little bit bigger. Just a little bit. Well, that one. Let's see what that looks like. Now this is another thing. You can see I think that's a good one. Because that covers almost, not all the body, but almost all of it. So I'm going to take that. I'd rather be perfect on the proportions and measurements than I am perfect on the colors, actually. So now, as you know, there are two sides, as I said, on this hackle, because it's bold. A lot of people tie it on, and the hackle straws will point downwards. I do the other way. I always did that. So I'm keep doing that. So I'm going to do it on this one as well. So I'm going to tie this hackle straight down on the wing, like that. And I'm going to try to keep the bowl towards the wing, because that will help me to keep the hackle in place. So let's see. So this is going to be tough to see, I know. I'm just fastening it like that. And now this post is bloody brilliant, because I can be pretty firm in tying this. You can see that the pressure I put on that post is pretty much. So now we're gonna check if this one is wrapped on right or not. No, it's not. So I'm not gonna do that. I could have wrapped that and done that, but it wouldn't have been what I want. So I'm not doing it. I'm redoing it. As I said, if you think it won't do, oh, it will do. It won't. Simple as that. Now let's see. All right. Because I'm really using this glued post, and I can use it because I can put an enormous amount of pressure on that one. So now, how is it? This is going to be good. Perfect. All right. So don't lose that. I'm just going to tie that one in and you know. Okay. And I always end up behind the wing again. Whoops. Yeah, the phone went again. Yeah. So that's how that one is tied in, straight down. Now I'm going to leave that for some dubbing. I'm using hair series. I just love hair series dubbing. It's lively. So, all right. Same here. To find the point where it's not too much, not too little, just enough. And I'd rather have, would I say, too less or too little on, because it's very hard on a tiny fly or any fly to take the dubbing away. It's much easier to add half a centimeter or whatever. It's much easier to do that. So That's not much. I usually say, people ask me the question, how much do you use? Or how much do you dub it? Well, I really don't dub it. I'm trying to make the thread hairy. That's the way I think about it. Make it hairy. I'll see what happens on this one. So I'm going to start at the end on the back doing that. I'll go forward. Yeah, I could use just a tiny little piece here, like so. Okay. There you go. And yet again, I end up on the other side behind the wing. I think that's pretty much, can you see the body on that one? That's pretty slim and pretty neat, being a very sticky hair's-ear dubbing. So it's doable, and it's really worth putting some time into doing that. So the way I'm going to do this, I'm going to wrap the hackle. Starting at the top and wrap it down. Can you see the pressure I can put on that hackle? Both hands. That glue is in a perfect spot. 3, 4, no problem at all. Now, I made those wraps I want to do. So I'm holding the hackle towards me. And I'm going to take my thread on the back side, going up over the hook eye. Right? Over the hook eye. Very careful. That's one wrap. If you hold that wrap, I can let go of that one. And over the hook eye again. It's about going over the body and down on the sides, like you know those crazy ships you get at a Chinese restaurant sometimes, the bent ones. It's like thinking that over the body, under the hackle, over the hook eye, under the hackle. So when I got it here, you see I made only one full wrap, and I always tie my flies off around the post. Yeah, I can still put some pressure on that post due to the glue. I always do that because I don't want the knot at the front covering the hook eye, anything like that. So I always do that. I think it looks good. So I'm just going to do the same thing and over the hook eye and around over the hook eye. That's twice, and that's more than enough. I can assure you. And as I said, you can always put some glue in there if you want to, but so no, I'll just go in. And like a hairdresser, I'm gonna turn it around, make a couple of small ones. If there's anything I need to do, don't be afraid to do that. Be a hairdresser. I'm like that all the time when I tie those flies. So, okay, I'm gonna take the butt, and I'm gonna do that about the length as the body. I'll take that one first, like that. A little bit curl on that one. Okay. The wing. If you look at the blue-winged owl, or you look at most of them, their wings are a little bit longer than the body, or a little bit longer than the body is, the full body. So that's why I try to aim at the size of the length of the body. I do the same thing here. I use my, and I try to angle my scissors down. You look at the wings of a mayfly. It's like round and straight. So I tried to make it a little bit bent back. I'll show you there. So it's going to be something like that. There you go. Can you see that?
Lovely.
Segmentation is great. Hackle is going to be good. If you see the body, it's an unruly material, but you can really get it that I'm doing a lot of experiment with colors on the wing. This one is orange. I don't know if you can see that in this light. I made yellows and oranges and green and white and gray, whatever, to see, since we're getting old, me and my friend, what we see best. So he thinks that yellow is easiest to see. I think orange looks nicest, that's why. So that's a plain and simple parachute. You can tie it really small, you can tie it really big. It's all about the proportions. Questions on that one?
Have you got a name for that, Stefan?
Yeah, I actually named it a candy bug. So I could really, as I said, I could change colors on it, bodies, whatever. This is a same fly, but it's all black. Yeah, same thing, but all black. So you can change colors. So I call it a candy bag. Just it's like a bag of candy for me.
Oh, candy bag.
A candy bag, yeah. Candy bag. Maybe that's the wrong expression. English is not my native language, so candy box, candy bag, whatever. It's not super big, but it's deadly. I can assure you that. So that's more like a happy fly because the colors are. But as I said, you can adapt that one to a sulfur, to a blue-winged olive, to mahogany, whatever. Adapt the colors. I tie them in all colors: brown, yellow, black. Black turned out to be really good, actually. Somehow. Sometimes just for fun, I tied a couple of small flies. Everything's black, and it works like hell every time. But it's not fun. So it's not that fun tying them because you want to do something else. But it's really cool. Okay, can stand another one?
Yeah.
All right. I'm thinking about here.
Stefan, while you're thinking, where do you fish in Montana?
Oh, mainly. That's a tough question, but you could say I fished. I believe we counted. I fished over 60 rivers in Montana, probably more than most natives have. But I love Missouri. Missouri River is great. Blackfoot is another favorite. What else do we have? There are a lot of rivers. Madison. I love Madison. And not a really good dry fly river, but it's a great river to fish. You can wade it anywhere. But the one with the biggest fish are definitely Missouri. And that the first fly I tied, that one, I always go there. Since I got a fly shops, I always go there in October, November. And this one is a killer on big rainbows. And I mean big rainbows. And sometimes it's too big for them, so they duck. Yeah, but I had days that I had one day last year alone in October, a little bit of rain, boring day, catching 7 55 plus rainbows on that fly, on the same fly. Yeah. So big flies eat tiny rice, and that's so I'm thinking I got parachutes, I got a small caddis, I got a midge. Or shall I just pick something? If you have a preference you would like to tell me. Do you prefer a parachute kind of style or a caddis kind of style? No one?
You do whatever you fancy.
Oh, well, you know I am. I can see it all night. So I'm thinking like there are a lot of fun things to tie and a lot of easy stuff. All right, let's do something pretty easy, yet not. It was a pretty cool fly. First time I fished it was in Missouri, actually, last year. It was a blast. Very dull, very gray, very boring with the touch. So there I'm okay. So I'm just gonna need to take. I'm just gonna need to get something really quick. I need some flash here.
I bet you'll be fishing some of these, won't you, Eric?
No.
Yeah, when I fish, so when I fish Montana, I've been going out. This marked 25 years that
Yeah.
I've been going to Montana. I have a good mate that well, I have a university friend owns a shop in West Yellowstone, and then I have a mate that has a house outside of West. So we fish, the Henry's Fork, fish
Yeah.
and then we fish the park a lot. It's certainly changed over the last 25 years. It used to be you could catch, handfuls and handfuls of 20-inch fish. Now it's one or two big fish, but they're big. Like you said, 22, 23.
Yeah.
Big,
That's
big
easy. Yeah.
fish, but it's a lot harder than it used to be. But yeah, I'll definitely be adding these to the box, Derek. We'll be at your table on a Tuesday here in no time, tying
Oh wow. Yeah.
some of these.
That's cool. Yeah, I've been there. This was my 12th trip, and I've been there a month every time, so it's almost up to a year if I put it all together.
It's a magical place.
It is. It's really. Yeah. I fished so many places, and so many places I want to go back to. And I get as you say, I get the question, which one is your favorite? Well, fuck if I know. I mean, once I love that one, and the next time this is my favorite, and then you end up somewhere up in the mountains. There's a 15 feet wide creek with big cutthroat. Then that's my favorite. I had like a ridiculous ending this year. Right, I was late this year because I had the Sealer trip to Canada as well. So I was late. So I got back to Montana in like 16th of October, and I had another 4 days. And last day we went out to fish for cutthroat. And we caught like, 40 centimeter plus cutthroat on small hoppers on 18th of November. It was 18 degrees.
Yeah, it can get cold. I told
you,
I've been years and years ago, probably 24, 22 years ago, we were fishing the Yellowstone in July, green drakes.
Yeah.
And flies were above the water, nothing on the surface. And it started to get black. I thought, oh no, we're gonna get rained on. We got snowed on. And the snow in July was knocking the green drakes out of the sky onto the water, and the fish were just devouring them. So we were catching fish in July in a snowstorm, and we were dressed, for summer. We were in t-shirts and absolutely unprepared, but we were catching fish, so we didn't mind the cold.
No,
it's a crazy place. Montana's.
It is. It's a cool place, really.
Yeah.
There's so many waters. So very cool, very cool. So I did some fishing in Colorado, Idaho, Wyoming as well, but Montana is.
It's Wyoming's probably my second favorite.
Okay.
Yeah. You need to get over the wind, into the winds, into the Powder River, and there's some lovely fishing over that way.
Oh yeah, it is. No, and as I say, it's pretty cool because I use the same flies here as I use there. So I don't have to tie two different fly boxes. I just mix them up a little bit and then work both ways, both places. That's pretty cool.
Brilliant. Well, thanks for sharing.
Oh, thank you. So this one is going to be a little midge, a little bit different. It's a no hackle midge. I ended up with doing something weird or strange, or how did I put that? I'm gonna get you a little thing to show you here. It's so I was tying the most boring little midge in the world, and I added, believe it or not, but I added some flash to it. And I don't know if that was the point but it was amazing. So I want to tell you, it's pretty simple. It includes CDC again, but this time I'm going to use the CDC as a upright wing. So yet again, find the place where you want the CDC, and you take a couple of reps backwards since you're going to do the CDC up front. So now you're going to see me doing this thing again that I did. It's the same thing. No, this is pretty simple, but it's a simple fly. Few things, few materials, and yet it's very cool. You'll see. Just as I did with the mist, I'm using four feathers, grabbing them by the tips and just stripping it up, like that. So it's the same thing as I did that other wing. I got another one here. This can't be too thick. I think it looks good. So same thing. I'm going to tie this one up on top on a very, very, like that. Careful. Is that good? I think that's going to be good. Okay. So I'm going to tie that like so. I'm going to try to remove. I got a bent scissors. So I like that. It helps you when you're tying tiny flies to remove stuff. Like you can get very close to the body. So I'm just removing the back of that one. And just be sure that it's a little bit tight, like so. Okay. So I'm going to lift this one up. And I'm going to put my wraps in front of the wing. You see, there's more space on this than the other one. And the more I wrap on this one, I'm going to get the wing to stand up like that. And I'm also going to try to do a couple very, very careful around the wing and take them around the hook, around the wing, around the hook, just to be sure that it's safe, like that. Okay, so we got an upright wing, CDC. CDC will, of course, bend very, very easy, so be careful when you do that. But this is a hit. Now, then came this. I was sitting thinking what to do. So there are several. This is like flash you use for tying streamers. You've probably seen crystal flash, all of you. I try to keep this a secret. Now I've revealed myself, so I'm gone. I'm wasted. But they do make one that is a little bit smaller. So I prefer that one. Let's see. Let's get a couple out. So I'm just want to take one single strand of that one. Cut it. I'm going to take this one. And I'm just going to make two of it. So bend it like that, and I cut it up. So now, see if we can do this. I try to put these together. So this is going to be two. Let's see where. Here we are. This is going to be two tails. Now there you see it, right? No.
Yeah.
There you go. Yeah. So I don't care about the length, nothing now. I'm just going to try to take them and try to split them around the one on each side of the hook here. Very, very loose wraps. See if I can make that one. Yeah, it's okay. So can you see that?
Yeah.
Not too far back, because I want this to be straight out from the body that I'm going to make. So like that. All right. This is a very simple, very effective fly. First tried on the Missouri, by the way, on a big rainbow.
Did he take it?
Of course. What kind of question is that?
You said tried. I wanted to make sure.
Oh, yeah, I wasn't sure since I hadn't tried it before. He took it, and I realized, okay, this is good. This is good. So now, it doesn't really matter now where you want to be. But as I said, I'm going to take a little flash off. Yeah. Now, these colors are great together, as you can see, the CDC and my special hairs here is very, very boring. As you can see, there's very few materials. Pretty easy, but deadly. The look on the water is wow on that one. So let's see. So now I'm just gonna make a little body on this one. Like so. Need a little bit more. Okay.
So that dubbing's a blend of hairs here and CDC.
That's
that dubbing is a blend of hairs here and CDC.
Yeah. This is just hairs here. Just there are some what do you call it? Those sticky long ones. It's okay. What I want to do here, though. Now, when I go back and I can feel that I finished this one with a body, that'll be just fine. It's not going to be a very big body. So then I'm going to be like traditional. I'm going to go this one. I'm going to do the knot at the end, actually, in the front, because this CDC is very fragile and I can't glue it, because if you glue CDC, it's all messed up. So I'm going to go forward this time. So you just pick a spot where you start and you end. That will make you end up in the normal way. 1, 2, 3 will be perfect, like so. All right. So I'm going to just cut the tails like that. The same thing with the wing as the other ones. That, gentlemen, is a very simple, absolutely deadly midge on a cool morning where there's no wind and a few raindrops in the air. I can assure you. And there's no hackle. It just floats on the CDC and the hairs here. So you see that? Yeah.
Yeah.
Good background, something like that. It feels tiny, doesn't it? And it is tiny, but it's still a size 18. So it's not very, very, for me, I know for me it's not, for me it's big. For most people it's a very, very tiny one. But you could probably do it bigger than I do and have good fishing with it. This is a perfect blue-winged olive, like fall or early spring. Questions? It's pretty easy. It's two materials and a flash tail.
I think they're all happy with that.
What?
I think they're all happy with that.
Oh, it sounds like I don't hear anything, so probably. It's very, very simple, very, very effective, very effective. And all this gray, the gray mornings, you throw something gray out is usually pretty good. But I just flipped the phone over. The phone is on my Regal vise, and I lock the phone with a handle. So it's sometimes when I hit the handle, I hit the phone and it goes flying. All right, so no, but as I said, that's very nice. Okay, you can handle one more. Yeah. Now you're gonna help if you can do that. Yeah. So we had a parachute, we had an emerger, we had a caddis, and we had that little midge thing. Let's say well, I could do a small caddis or well, I could do almost anything. I have a you fish anything with spent spinners?
Yeah.
You do?
Especially in the evening.
Yeah. It's not very common here. I fish a lot in the US with spent spinners. It was very, very uncommon in Sweden. So I started doing it a couple of years ago. It works really well in the right time. So I could do just to do something different. I could do a small midge with a plastic hackle on it, or I could try to do a spent spinner with you, or a very small CDC high floating caddis.
Little spent spinner will be a good idea.
Okay. All right. So let's do a spent spinner. The way I do it then, I use snowshoe hair when I do my spinners for wings. I think it's very cool. There's a bit of practice doing it, but it's very cool. So, okay, let's go down to, what do you say? You want a size 20 or 18? We've been doing a lot of 18. Everybody can see that one good.
Yeah, do it on an 18 because they can always tie them smaller, can't they?
Oh, yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah. All right. So I'm going to do this one on a straight hook. Like so. Okay. So let's see. We can do it in a lot of different ways. Let's use some fun materials. Yeah. All right. A couple of let's do it brown with white wings. I think that sounds good. So I'm just going to take a couple of tail fibers first. Maybe you noticed that I use the same color of thread all night. I usually, I mean, if you tie it good, you won't see the thread anyway. So, and if you tie it off under the wing, you won't see it anyway. So it doesn't matter that much, I think. So I'm using an olive thread for a brown fly now. So I'm not very, what to say? I don't know how to say it. I don't care that much of the tails on the spent because, I mean, they're dead anyway. I have a feeling that I wouldn't look good dead anyhow. So I'll just take a few. Okay. We got a few. I usually tie my tails in, you see, pretty far. When I tie my tail in on a parachute, I start tying the tail in by the wing, because I use the whole tail. I use it as a tapering, so I don't have to do as many wraps. If I wrap it in, it's already tapered. Okay, so I try to do as less wraps as possible. That's my main. So I'm going to put that one on like so. Okay, that's going to be good. So we got a small tail. I'm gonna start at the end, on the back end, with my thread, and let's use a little. I like the segmentation. So as I said, you can use dubbing, whatever. I'm using this today. I'll try to make this dead one look good too. Okay, same thing. There you go. We cut that. This is the same technique as on the other one. Now I'm going to be very cautious here where I'm going to stop as well. I got to have room for a little bit of a body and wings, so something like that. A little bit of glue.
Those C&F hackle players are good, aren't they?
These are the only ones that I wouldn't use any other one. I'm going to tell you, I didn't use a hackle plier at all for, I don't know, 25 years. Because I said to myself, I'm not going to use one of those until I find one that works. It's good. So I found this one and it works. So this one I use, none other. I think the two, no, it didn't work for me, but this one, it's really good.
They got a good grip on them, haven't they?
Oh yeah, it's great. The grip is a good thing, because the other ones, they only let go all the time. So this is just great. It's a CF. I think it's brilliant, and it's rubber, so it's movable in all directions. So we got a body on this one, and wings, snowshoe hair. Oh. The best part is in between the toes. That's why I cut the toes. It looks like it's like a rabbit mayfly or something. So I'm gonna see if I can get some of this inside here somewhere for some wings. This is a kind of a weird material, but it looks so good, so I use it. I want it to be pretty long. So, all right, let's see what we got here. Okay, so I got a lump like that. There you go. And this is too big, so I'm just gonna like, I'm picking things out of this. It's a very durable material in the water, since those rabbits are, I mean, they're made for walking on snow and in wet conditions. So now I'm going to take this one. I'm going to use both sides. I'm going to take and tie it in halfway, half, so to speak. So on the middle of that one. So somewhere where I think I'm going to have this body, somewhere in the middle of that one, since the wings are up on the back. So we'll see if I can just put it down there, and I'll tie it in like so. Then I make 3. It looks bad right now. Then I'm going to try to figure 8 this one, you know. So go the other way, and that way I will even it up like so. Fibers are pretty hard, pretty slippery, so you better do a few. And now and then you take a couple in front, you go back, and you probably will have to take a couple behind without, yeah, I have a camera there, so something like that. Oops. Oh. As my computer's battery is almost gone. So I'm just gonna move some power into the computer. There you go. Yeah, good. So it's a little bit of a messy job there, but you can see. Now here comes the hairdresser again, because we came that far. We can try to cutting a little bit in this rough wings. The thing with the snowshoe hair, since as I said, it's the snow, it's a winter thing, and they used to or made for walking on snow and ice and water, wet conditions. So it floats, like I used to say, it floats like hell. So I'm just doing a little bit of that now. Is going to make it easier for me, because of course we got to do a body on this one, and we're going to dub that one. And it gives a bit of a lively look to it. All these, I had some really nice. I had some enormously really nice grayling fishing in Norway on this. That was blue winged olive, so that I made that one olive. But this is a brown one. Okay, so now we are a little bit of more. And if you use snowshoe, you're gonna have a few strands pointing here and there. But hey, who's perfect? So it's usually not a problem. So let's take. No, it doesn't matter. This is just showing. So I'm using the same dubbing again. So the same here. Very careful. Not too much. Okay, let's see. You can see that noodle is pretty careful. So no, it's too much. I'm gonna take some off. This is a thing, boys, about tying tiny rice. As I said, if you think it'll do it, it damn won't. And the only way to get through it is to redo it. I can redo things 4 times because I know I'm going to mess up if I don't. So let's see what we do in this one. Okay, so this is mainly the same thing. A few over. And I'm going to need a little bit more. Now I'm going to do a couple on the back. Not too many. We don't want the body to be twice as big as the rest of the fly. So this is just to let me make a couple of wraps on the body and back and get up and tie it off, really. So that's one. Two, 3, and 4. Okay. So that's about doing that. It's the same as the other ones. These wings are spread out. So I try to be pretty straight up here, and I try to cut it like, you know, that this is straight up, and I try to make it towards the body like that, like a triangle a little bit. And I'm also trying to do the wings pretty much the same size, of course. Well, and I try to make it a little bit. I'm more, concerned about the beneath the fly, because it's gonna be lying down. You don't want it to stand like in the wrong position. So can you see that? The wings?
Yeah.
And that's the underneath. You can see the body, but you can't see the tails, but the tails are there as well. That's also very simple. It looks pretty wild and unruly, but I mean, it's been working so good when you got those. You know when you can see they're eating on the surface, but they won't eat your dry. That's the one, because that will be on the surface, but it'll be in the
film. Sitting in the film.
Yeah, sitting in the film. So you still will see when they eat it. That's a good thing. But they won't put their head up. They put their head up, but they won't put the lip up. That's the difference. They just suck it in. Yeah, so that's a pretty simple but very effective small fly. No, you can see the size of it. It looks small, does it?
It does, doesn't it?
It is small, but it's not super small. And I wish you could really see the look on this one from beneath, because I think it has a great look from beneath.
Nice.
Imagine you're a fish and you're looking up at that one. I would eat it.
Real nice profile.
Yeah, it has. And that wild, unruly hairs here, it makes a good profile. Oh, it's up there. All right.
I bet you're ready for a whiskey now, aren't you?
Yeah, I think I might be. And you?
Yeah.
You had enough? We've been going 2 hours.
You got a time for another one? Then yeah.
I got time. If you got time.
Yeah.
If you want one, if you want another one, of course I got time for one.
Yeah, do one more.
All right.
Anybody got a choice for Stefan?
Any ideas? I'll just.
Eric?
No ideas?
No.
Well,
I thought Eric might come back wanting a specific fly.
Oh.
What about you, Andrew?
What about a wet fly?
What do I?
A wet fly?
No.
He ties little drives.
Little drives, right?
I'll make a. I mean, we covered a lot.
Hey, could you do a hopper?
A
hopper, grasshopper?
A hopper?
Yeah.
A grasshopper?
Yeah.
Absolutely. If you give me 1 minute to get some other material.
Yeah.
A grasshopper. Absolutely.
All you guys ready for Christmas?
More or less, Derek.
Yeah. Yes, almost.
I'm still getting over a cold, I am.
Well, there's a lot of it about.
Some of the boys went fishing today. I couldn't join them.
Okay. What do you prefer? A special color?
No, you tie anything you fancy because we can adjust the colors.
Let's see. I'll tie a olive one. Okay. I'm gonna get another hook, of course. Now this is probably the biggest fly you're gonna see me tie ever. Yeah. I'm gonna go for a size 10. There you go. That's 8. That's 1. The space is so tight. I don't want barbed hooks. So. Okay. I'll get another hook. Hang on. Okay. So we're gonna do this little thing. I'll try to get the hook into this vise. Should work, I hope.
No, we can certainly see that one.
Yeah, you can. I'm just trying to make sure this sits. I'll be careful. It'll sit there. So yeah, another thread as well. That's a size 10. I mean, hoppers. I love fishing hoppers. That's one of my main fun things in Montana. In August, September, hoppers it's fun, and they will eat. I mean, the hoppers are dry, so I do tie those. Okay, so this is some big. I'm just covering this. So I'm going to put a body on this one. I'm still in. Yeah, I'm in there. Okay, like so. I like peacock. I'm going to take 3, 1, 2, 3 strands. Like that. So tying those in and just go back up to where we started. There you go. And then carefully, I take all 3. This will make a great body. Don't hit the tip of the hook. Done that a couple of times. Oh. Can you still see me? Can you still hear me?
Yeah, perfect.
Good. Because I lost you on my screen. See if I probably hit the what happened? I lost you on the screen here, so I'm trying to get back to you. There you go. There you go. All right. So you see that body?
Yep.
Yeah. I said olive, so we'll just take some olive. I'm gonna cut I'm gonna cut a body from this one if I can find my scissors in all this. Thank God I have a lot of scissors. Did I bring that? Maybe I brought it. Okay. So I'm gonna cut a piece of foam. I'm trying to have the measurement on the inside of the hook eye or the hook gap. So first I'm gonna just, yeah, one looks something like that. Okay. Yeah, pretty good. Now I'm gonna cut the end of this one. Make it a little bit of a shape here. Not too pointy. You see that's something like that. Yeah. Let's see the back end of it. Yeah. All right. So measuring again, as always. The length of the body of the hook where the peacock is, that length, and I put that to the hook tip. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I don't put it all back. That's too long. So I hold it here where everything starts, and I move it to the hook tip. That'll be fine. Okay, so I'm going to hold that. Let's see. I'm going to take a couple of reps in front, make sure it's like so. You see that? And that's just behind the hook eye. So then I'm going to lift this one up, and I'm going to glue the peacock. Just waste glue on it. Oh. All right. So I'm going to hold this one down with my other hand. I'm going to take, hope you can see that. I'm going to go back like that and take 1, 2 tough ones to create the little ball. And then make just a touch smaller on the next one, like so. And I'm going to make a smaller one. Something like that. I'll make 2 extra wraps here to keep that. Then I just go back over 1, over 2. So I'm going to stay there. So I'm not going all the way back. I'm staying on that one. Wing, deer hair. Let's see. I think I'm just gonna take something like that. And try to get that into the stacker.
Must be snowing hard over there, Stefan.
What?
It must be snowing hard over there.
Oh yeah. Well, it stopped now. It did snow hard. Okay, so let's see. It's the same here, not too much. I'll take a few out here. It's gonna make a good wine. Perfect. Stack it again. You can never stack too many times.
You hold it at a 45-degree angle.
Good. So, what?
You hold it at a 45-degree angle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, to get it out. Yeah, because otherwise the less you got, the easier it is to glide away. And this is the big one, but the other small ones, I have to do that. Or I'm very, very careful. And sometimes I have to go almost like backwards like that, leaning it. Otherwise it'll stay in the tube. So it's a little bit. So this is going to be the wing. I want the wing beneath here. So I want it to be just out, maybe a third of the back flip. So I measure that exactly. Now I moved this around so much. I'm gonna do this again. Great. So here's the point now. I got what I want. I'm measuring that. And I'm going to take this exactly, very firm grip. And I'm going to cut this into my fingers like that and tie it in. If I do it like that, you see in front, I don't have to cut it. You got that?
Yeah.
It's already cut, so I don't have to cut it. If I cut it that close, it's going to be good. All right. And we're going to go more glue. Glue is fun. So now I'm going to glue the butt ends of the hair and a little bit on the front lump here. That's going to hold everything in place. Now I'm going to bend this one back and take a couple of wraps. You see, I'm holding the wing inside there. Looks good. So I'm making another two. So there you go. Okay. No hopper with that rubber legs, right? Imagine that. You're going to see me tie a size 10. I'm going to use rubber legs. This is entering my secret life. So let's see. I'm gonna use whatever. I'm just use you can use whatever colors you want on that one. I'm gonna just go for a black one here, like so. I'll take care of that later on. Okay, we'll split this one. All right. So, rubber legs. I always make them a lot longer than they're supposed to be. And I can do all the adjusting afterwards. So, I got two. I'm going to slide one of them up on the outside. Oh. Or I'll just tie it in on this side. It's okay. Like so. That's one. We slide this one up on the other side like that. And it doesn't matter. It doesn't have to be perfect now because I'm going to move them anyway. You can just slide them on like that. I'm into that place where the top of the foam meets the bottom. Can you see that? Yeah, probably. Yeah. All right. So that's the legs. Looking good. So we'll just take one more like that. Okay, now I usually do a small two things. First, I'm going to take a piece of this one off. It's a little bit too big. That'll be perfect. Then I usually take some other color, bright color, whatever, yellow, orange, what you need. This is like just so you can see the fly on the water. So I'm just grabbing this little piece like that. I chose a yellow one this time. Okay. Managed to cut that in the wrong way. So I'm just putting this on top here. And tie it down like so. See that it is really in the right spot. The good thing with things, you can always move it around a little bit. Okay. One more. And when I've done that, 2, 3 together, I'm just going, I don't know if you see that. I'm just going straight for the eye. Straight up to the eye. And tie it off. That's a pretty quick, very, very effective.
That's going to float all day, that is.
Oh, this one's going to float. As long as you want it to float, it's going to float. And the good thing with just take another one like so. So, oh, it's going to float. And with stuff like hoppers and stuff like that, I mean, there's one good thing and that is you can glue everything. It doesn't matter. I usually put some on the thread where you put the legs in to keep that one, and I put some on the nut, like so. That'll hold forever. So this one, it's always the hairdressing thing. I'm gonna take down this little like so, because the yellow one, it could have been white, could have been orange, whatever, red, whatever you want it to be. That's just for you to see it. I'm gonna cut the legs. I usually bend them together. I want them to be, and the front ones pretty short. The back ones usually a little bit shorter than the body itself. Something like, yeah, that looks pretty even. Okay, that's a go fish thing. That's the top. You see the yellow. That's a, so you can see it, and the bottom is that definitely eatable. So that's a very simple but extremely effective. I mean, you sit down with a beer and you type 8, and you're gonna make the whole summer on 8 on that one.
Be excellent in turbulent water.
Yeah.
So it'll be excellent.
I can show you this.
Water.
Oh yeah, yeah. And here's just another. I see there's a couple down here. Experiments. This is a black one, and let's see. Black one. Can you see it? There you go.
Yeah.
Black one, other kind of legs, but the same thing. Here is an experiment. I got 4 of these in Montana at the moment. I got a girlfriend that's checking them out. She had a problem seeing them in fast water. So I made 4 different colors with like the wing material.
Yeah.
And put that one on instead of the foam. So I'm going to wait to see what she says about if she can see these, because it's the same hopper. We just have a bigger little parachute on that one instead of that yellow one. We'll see what happens. You got to experiment. I see those perfectly well. She didn't, so she wanted me to try that. So we'll see what she says. There's always room for experimenting and customizing. Yeah, so this is what we use mainly in Montana. I have very few hoppers up here where I live. But I have a friend who caught trout on hoppers here as well. So, you know, right time, right day, right things in the air. I'll definitely catch a fish. All right.
Thank you for tonight, Stefan.
All right. It was nice to be here. Really nice.
Perhaps you'll come back and do another one.
Thank you, Stefan.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Stefan. Very good.